What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and some interesting news coming out of Marvel. And while Hollywood news is pretty sparse right now, with most studios shut down and theaters across the country not open, there's been a few little spicy nuggets. And apparently, there were some statements made about Asian people in terms of Marvel. I don't believe them to be true, but it's being widely reported, so it's interesting to see. So this is on NBC News. Marvel's Daredevil Asian problem is really Hollywood's bigger Asian problem. I don't know where this is going, but it seems dicey. We must stop perpetuating the notion that Asians are inherently foreign, and allow them to live on screen as we do in life, fully and unapologetically. What? What? Last weekend, during an online panel focused on the series Daredevil, actor Peter Shinkoda said former Marvel TV executive Jeff Loeb explicitly told writers of the superhero series not to expand Shinkoda's character because, quote, nobody cares about Chinese people and Asian people. First of all, I should say, if true, obviously a terrible thing to say. Do I believe it was said? No, I don't. I don't believe a Marvel employee, a company that regularly bends the knee to get their films into China, would say something like that. Is it possible? Of course. Is it more likely that maybe a Z-list actor needed to say a little something to get their name in the headline? Well, you'll have to be the judge of that, as certainly people have come out against it. Neither Loeb nor Marvel, I hope I'm saying that right, I guess it doesn't matter, nor Marvel have responded to the claim, but Season 1 showrunner Steven Knight tweeted, "No one ever tried to get me to downplay any of my characters in Season 1. Knight, however, did not address how Nobu's arc in Season 2. So interesting. So nobody told him. Now, of course, everybody could be lying because, you know, headlines are important. But it just seems so weird. The idea that you would say nobody cares about Chinese people or Asian people is absurd. First of all, Marvel films have gigantic Asian audiences. This is the first and undeniable fact. Many of their movies will make as much, if not more money, just in China and Japan as they will in the entire United States. To argue that nobody cares about these characters would be coming from a place of absolute willing ignorance. Is it possible? Yes. I don't believe it was said, though. Also, there are many very popular Asian Chinese actors in Hollywood history. Could there be more? Oh, okay, sure. You know, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, these are ones that I think of. But again, this always brings up the argument that more, and we'll get into this with the second article that kind of piggybacks off this, that more diversity is inherently good and less is inherently bad. Now, I'm not against diversity in film, of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, you want to have films that in many cases represent what people see outside. I think that's just good for immersion and realism. The idea that you would be in some inner city, or not even an inner city, that's not even fair to say, that you would be in some big city like Los Angeles and only see white people, obviously that's insanity. But I don't think films really do that. The words themselves may be shocking, but I want to be clear. The sentiment is not. Okay, so we can't prove it, but I'm going to go ahead and just pretend this. I'm going to write this article as if it were true. It points to a much larger problem, both within Marvel Studios and Hollywood itself, the dehumanization of Asian, in this case specifically East Asian characters, by reducing them to often evil foreignness. Really? I don't know. I legitimately don't know, but where they're from, and maybe they're probably originally from the United States. But do people see Harold and Kumar as evil? Do they see what's the guy from the Hangover films and Community? Do people see him as inherently evil? I'm asking genuinely because I don't. But again, these people are probably born in the U.S., so maybe they're talking about native born, but even I don't know if they're not making that case. Shinkoda appeared in 9 episodes of Daredevil. During the first and second season, he played Nobu Yoshioka? Let's just call him Nobu. Sorry. A villain from the mysterious Asian organization. The Hand that over the course of the interconnected Marvel series Daredevil, Iron Fist, and the Defenders emerged as a main threat to New York City. The organization was introduced via Nobu and another Asian villain, Madame Gao. Yet this time, the overall story came to a climax in Defenders, and the Hand's leader, ended up being a white villain played by Sigourney Weaver, a woman. Essentially, Daredevil used Nobu and Madame Gao, to introduce a, quote, foreign evil, only to give the final villain arc to a white actor. Imagine going through life and thinking like this. Do general audiences actually think this way? I'm legitimately asking. Do general audiences look at the skin color of who plays certain characters in movies and project that upon all people in real life of that same skin color? I certainly don't do that, but maybe it's a big problem that I don't know about. This isn't the only time Marvel used an Asian supporting character to accelerate a white hero's journey. In 2016, Doctor Strange, a film by notably whitewashed the character of the Ancient One by casting Tilda Swinton. Oh, wait a second. Wasn't this because because the original character was a Tibetan monk and China wouldn't allow that? Isn't that what that was? I could be confusing this character. I really could. But I know that was a case. The most prominent Asian character, Wong, Benedict Wong, also exists solely to help the white hero, Stephen Strange, learn to harness vaguely Asian mystical powers. He coincidentally has no first name, because to have one would give him life unrelated to his Asianness and value too strange. Does anybody know Doctor Strange's first name? Who isn't a you go into that movie theater for Doctor Strange. What about Iron Man? He goes by Iron Man. How about the Incredible Hulk's real name? How about Black Widow? How many people know Natasha's real name? This is such a reach. It's such a ridiculous reach to be offended. The same year, Marvel TV received backlash for casting a white character as Iron Fist, a superhero who essentially receives magical powers from a mystical world of Asian monks. Though the character was white in the original comics. Oh, okay, so, canon says the character's white, but let's ignore that. I want to be offended here. Fans had hoped that they would correct the comics' often offensive portrayal of Asians by making the hero himself Asian. Okay, well then Captain Marvel should be a man. Is that what we're going to do? Is that the world you want to live in? I mean, these people need to just get back to work in Hollywood. These people, Hollywood actors. They need to just get back to work. In no scenario do I look at an Asian actor in a movie and think of them as an Asian actor. They're just playing a role. Daredevil actor says the Marvel exec cut his storyline because nobody gives a poop about Asian people. I just don't believe. I don't believe that happened. 800,000, 900,000 views. Actor Peter Shinkoda, who played Nobu in Netflix's Daredevil, talks about how Jeff Loeb, the head of Marvel Television at the time, forcibly cut his character's original story arc because, quote, nobody cares about Chinese and Asian people. Absolutely appalling. Now, he did say it, and he's going to have to stand by those statements. If it was said, obviously it's hilariously misguided. It just seems so absurd that somebody in modern day Hollywood would say this. I don't think the Avengers, again, here, Avengers star Anthony Mackie says Marvel's diversity efforts are in no way enough. Well, of course, they will never be enough. And every time somebody goes down this road, I only ask one question. I'm not against diversity in film in any way. My only question is, what is the correct percentage? Nobody's ever really been able to give me that number. What is the correct percentage for each race in Hollywood so that we can actually have a target to aim for? Because I'm a pragmatic person. I hope I'm using that word right. I'm pragmatic, but I'm not very smart. If there is an actual goal to work towards, I think that's a more achievable goal. But just putting out this nebulous more, we want more, that's not going to get anything done. So if you want the problem solved, then you have to give me my quotas, my race quotas, so that we can check films and make sure that we're at the right person. Because we're not going to hire based on who's the best person for the job. With Marvel, I really think most companies, they feel like they're doing what they should be doing, he said. No way, shape, or form is enough. Okay, so why even try? He added, anyone who's big in our industry, if they had a party at their house, their party is 98% white. If you go to their office is 98% white. Really? How about Tyler Perry? Is Tyler Perry's office 98% white? How about Jordan Peele and the cast of his films, which are exclusively black? I'm not saying that there aren't more. I'm just saying I don't even have to think. You think Spike Lee's parties are mostly white? Maybe. Maybe. But don't act like there's just literally no, everyone's just white in Hollywood. That's absurd. Olivia or Octavia, what's her name? She was in the movie Ma. She's been in a bunch of other really good movies. Famous black actress. Queen Latifah, she's probably not really an actress anymore. Oprah's the richest woman on the planet. I mean, come on, dude. You know, Mackie also gave his thought on the ending of Avengers Endgame. You know, I think that if you want to increase diversity in front of the camera or wherever, that's a noble cause. And I also think there are right ways to go about it and there are wrong ways to go about it. You know, gender bending, wrong way. Race bending, wrong way. Stan Lee's lineup in the Marvel universe is extremely diverse. So start building the stories of these characters so people are more interested in them. I think it is, you know, it is an uphill battle, but, you know, there's a reason that I don't have high expectations for Phase 4 of Marvel. Is because most of these characters are not like in the cultural zeitgeist. They're not like super popular. You ask people about Wong, very few people know about him. If we look at, what is it, Phase 4? I mean, is Captain Marvel even in Phase 4? You know, WandaVision, I mean, Disney Plus is a good spot for that. Shang-Chi, I don't have high hopes for that. Nobody knows that. Very few people know that character. Hawkeye, for example, on Disney Plus, probably a good spot for that. Loki, Disney Plus, a good spot for that. The Eternals, I don't have huge hopes for that on the big screen either. That should have been Disney Plus to build up the interest. But maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe all these movies will make $1 billion because after all, it's still Marvel. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.